I just got off my daily mentor call. I had a call with Tom Brown Jr., so one of my childhood heroes. If you've never heard of him, he was raised by an Apache Indian who was born in the 1800s, and he's a famous survival tracker and teacher. And I asked him, I said, Tom, you've learned so much. You've traveled the world. You've learned from the greatest wilderness survival experts, and you learn from a famous Apache Indian. What's your life lesson, biggest lesson you have for us in the modern world? And he said, well, grandfather, my Apache grandfather told me that the reason we're on the earth is to make the earth and leave the earth better than we found it. And he said grandfather told him that in the modern world, we kill our grandchildren in order to feed ourselves and our children. And he said it shouldn't be that way. One of the things that got me thinking, and we hear so much about having a 1 week plan, a plan for your daily routine today. But Joel Salatin, another mentor, told me, what about a 100-year plan? When you have a 100-year plan, it completely reframes your mindset. Not only are you interested in the short-term goals, but you're also interested in the middle and long-term. Even if you won't live another 100 years, that mindset. And it's interesting. People from diverse backgrounds, like Warren Buffett, the billionaire, he says when he buys a business, he plans to own it for 100 years. And a lot of the problems in Wall Street and corporate scandals come from short-term mindsets, trying to manipulate the stock price right now so that a CEO or some executives get a short-term bonus without thinking of the long term. So I think that's an amazing lesson, and we've heard it before, but I think we always think of it environmentally, leaving the earth a better place. But I don't think it's an environmental lesson. It is partially environmental, but it's also a lesson of politics, or for politics, a lesson for you if you're an entrepreneur, if you're interested in technology, if you're a parent raising kids, whatever you might be. We get so caught up in the moment with technology and social media and all of these things that bombard us, which can be good if they lead us to the right place. But if you're not careful, they lead you to tremendous short-sighted understanding of the world. And that tremendous short-term mentality is the cause of many problems in the world. Like I said, could be environmental, could be, look at politics, That's why politicians rarely do what they say. They just say stuff in the short term in order to win, and then they don't fulfill it. And it's partly the system's messed up, because if you have only been in office a few years, you're not motivated to think 100 years. I read a book by, I think it was Stephen Levitt, the author of Freakonomics. He said you should pay a bonus to the president based on 10 years after they are out of office, because then it would make them go, well, if I can help the economy, not just at a short-term burst, but over 10 years, there's some kind of reward. I know that's probably not going to happen, but it is a great way to think about it. And in your life sneaks up on you so fast. So if you only think about the short term continually, guess what? It's going to be a year from now real quick. It's going to be 2 years from now. And if you're always robbing, quote unquote, from your grandchildren, meaning if you're always robbing from your long-term plan in order to satisfy yourself in the short term, you're gonna catch up to you real quick. So start thinking on that. Start when you make your your plans. Make a 1-day plan, what you're gonna do today. Make a 1-week plan, a 1 month, a 1 year, whatever it is. But just add on a 100-year plan. And this 100-year plan changed your life, not only in business, made Warren Buffett, part of the reason he's probably a billionaire, but also environmental things. Imagine if 100 years ago people had been thinking about this, even 10 years ago. One last thing he told me, for those of you in my VIP lifestyle training, it's a paid program with 67 steps. I go more in depth on this call, but I wanted to give everybody here just some of what I learned. And Tom Brown said one thing he believes is, and that his grandfather, this Apache Indian, taught him, is that you don't have to focus on big world problems. Focus on the problem right around you, small ones. He said he believes if you pick up a piece of trash in the woods, just one piece of trash, he said it sends out a concentric circle of energy, of conscientiousness. So don't be overwhelmed by all the big problems in the world. Solve little ones. and you'll be part of that contribution, that concentric wave that hopefully will change the world. So leave a comment below on something you can do that's just small. That was an example of you acting on a 100-year plan. What is your 100-year plan? Leave a comment. I'd love to read what you have to say. Okay? Talk to you soon.